CMPRADIO.net, the voice of Chester.
Everybody, my name is Donna, also known as Donna Janel, CEO and founder of Parenting with a Purpose. Our strive here at the podcast is to reach every home, whether it's single moms, married, single dads, whatever it is, foster parents, whatever, just bringing the ownership and responsibility and nobility back into parenting. Get comfortable with uncomfortable conversations. All parents need some help and guidance, and I'm just here to be a guide. Hey everybody, welcome back to Parenting with a Purpose. I am your host, Donna Janel, where we aim to bring back the beauty, nobility, and responsibility back into parenting. As you know, parenting is very diverse, and parenting is not for the weak. You know, life be lifing, and parents be trying to parent these days. You know, there's so many different ways of parenting, different styles, different age groups. I mean, foster parents, step parents, grandparents, parents, guardians. If you're responsible for the upbringing of a child, you're pretty much a parent. Although it does take a village to raise our children, but I think it's most importantly is that as parents, we are the bows and our children are the arrows, and they will land wherever we send them. May not be today, may not be tomorrow. Listen, it might not even be in 10 years, but the guarantee that they will land where you sent them, as long as you give them the tools and the techniques and be able to build them up strong so that when you pull that arrow back, you're able to launch it wherever you need to go. So that's what we do at Parenting with a Purpose. As you know, last month, the whole month of October, we were talking about healing from our broken pieces so that we don't bleed on our children. Sometimes we parent out of fear. Sometimes we parent the way that we were parented. And sometimes we parent the total opposite because we didn't like the way we were parenting. All that is part of parenting. So whether you intentionally or non-intentionally do things to our kids based on what we've been through parenting. So this week, though, you know what we're talking about? This is Thanksgiving month. This is November. We're talking about being grateful and thankful for our children. That so many times you hear kids need to be grateful for their parents. Kids need to be thankful for their parents. How about parents? We are grateful and thankful for the gift that God has given us. Yeah. So that's what we're talking about today. Today I have the one and only Amanda Bowers. Amanda is a single mom of two, and she's a teacher, and she's a woman of faith. So I thought it would be, change it up a little bit, bring a generation under me, so y'all can see what it's like and understand the beauty into parenting. What's up, Amanda?
Hey.
Oh, don't play shy. How are you this evening?
I'm good.
All right. So the beauty in the parenting. So what do you think about the topic itself?
When you think of beauty, it means something like amazing, something that looks amazing, something that is great. And sometimes before, when you think of parenting, it's like, oh, it's stressful.
Man,
it's this.
I got a headache.
Yes.
There is.
But when you gave me the topic, that's all I started thinking of is all the great things that come along with being a mom in itself. So I was like, wow, the beauty in parenting. And I just started laughing because I'm like I said, you start thinking of all the bad things.
Man.
But
all
then
the hard stuff.
It made me think of all the great stuff too.
Right. I think it's so important because we can look at the trauma, the drama, everything that's hard in parenting, because again, we're responsible for another human being, and another human being that has their own thoughts and their own behaviors. So half the time we can't even control our own behavior. So then we try to control our kids. So I thought about it. I was like, all year long we've been touching all these different topics in parenting, and I'm like, there's so many times I hear parents say, oh, you need to be grateful that I'm your mom, or you need to be grateful I put food on your table, you need to be grateful for this, you need to be grateful, you thank God for me. And I'm like, if we just begin to thank God for our kids though, because they're the reason we're parents, right? Yes. Because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have the title as mother or parent. And no matter the ups and downs, the ins and outs, because it's hard. I ain't gonna front, parenting is hard. Yes. It is very hard, but it's so beautiful. It's so amazing, especially when you just see that the kids do different things, like hit different milestones. And, you can't be mad at your kids for long. Like, they do something, and then all of a sudden they give you a little smile or something like that, and you just be like, all right, you won my heart again.
Or even in the heart, like, even when things are going rough, sometimes it becomes great. Like, you get a great outcome in a bad situation. Right. Like, for an example, my son, when he got diagnosed with ADHD, it was like, oh my God, he has ADHD. I'm having all these issues. Right. But then this year, it's for the great. Like, he's turning around. He's doing way better in school. The teachers are working with him. He's building better relationships. So it's like, wow. Like,
you get that. It's almost like you get this, like, the thing about diagnosis is, like, people get so caught up on diagnosis is, as women of faith, we believe, like, you're not going to put no labels on our kids. Right. But at the same time, we got to deal with the reality of it. If there are some symptoms and things like that, we do need to address them, because I feel like if we don't address these issues with our kids, we're doing a disservice. Right. So we're protecting them from the labels, but not understanding that the label is just a label, and it's not really a label, it's just a diagnosis to help you get more resources. So a lot of times parents stray away from different, a lot of times, turn it down. A lot of times parents stray away from the ADHD, the anxiety, all these different type of things that they say, because I don't want them to label my kids. Yes. But at the same time, your kid need help. Right. Your kid flipping over tables. Struggling. Your kid struggling, can't concentrate. The teacher calling you every 5 minutes now, you feel like you got ADHD because the teacher calling you. So I think that is, it's beauty even in that. Like you said, like, so when they first told you about him, you like, oh man, got all these problems. But you already knew we was already having these issues. Right. Now
I'm like, oh my gosh. I just thought it was going to be so hard. I thought it was going to be such a negative thing, but it's turned around and it's great. He first month in school, he got student of the month. Like, whoa. So this year has been such a turnaround, and he's doing way better. So it's just like what I thought was going to be a negative outcome has become positive, and it's helping him. It's who he is, and he's starting to internalize it, and he's starting to learn, like, okay, these behaviors are not okay. Okay, these behaviors I can't do in school. Or, you know what I mean? So
he developed, because he was now have the resources, he developed some good coping mechanisms. So he's able to be socialized in a positive way. Yes. I think that's so important. I like how you said that. So out of that came beauty. Yes. Wow. That's good. I don't think I ever looked at it like that. I always looked at, like, if our kids get diagnosed with something, we get the additional resources. But I never thought about the beauty in that, though. Because the beauty, it's the turnaround. Right.
Seeing him achieve it, seeing him grow past it, seeing him move on and develop with it, that's beautiful in itself. Seeing him develop these great relationships with teachers and friends in school that last year was like such a struggle, and now him and his teacher are like this, and it's like, wow.
So you're saying even during a journey, in this journey, we have to embrace the process, and we have to trust the process, and be an advocate for our kids, and be able to get them to a place of excellence and to be successful. And we can't do it by hiding, hiding from the situation, like, oh no, not my kid, but it means, well, you can't have some problems. I think that's awesome, beauty in it. I think another thing about beauty is the fact that, even in the hardest of the hardest times, like right now, I'm struggling a little bit right now. I keep telling y'all, if y'all seen it, I'm struggling with the 3 younger ones, these teenagers, y'all. I'm telling you, I'm going to talk about them all the time. I love my kids, but these teenagers, man, it's a hard not life out here for parents with teenagers. And I got the 2 15-year-olds and the 17-year-old right now. And like just even yesterday, and they know they're going to get me, and they know I'm going to put them on blast. So maybe y'all can pray for them. So I go grocery shopping yesterday, and well, let me back up. So I wanted to go grocery shopping on Tuesday, right? But when I came downstairs, my house was a mess. The kitchen was like, stuff was everywhere, and I just was like, listen, I'm not bringing no clean food in this dirty house, right? So I was like, listen, now the house probably wasn't as much as drama as I made it seem, but for me, like, I just like things in order. And they know my expectations. They old enough now, right? So when I came, I was like, I had an exam to take that day. I was like, I'm not even going to the grocery store. Y'all got to clean my house. So when I came home, I seen them cleaning everything. Still wasn't my standard. But when I woke up, like in the middle of the morning, like 5 o'clock, and it was not the middle, that's the time I get up at 5 o'clock, I wake up to all these texts from my son. He done cleaned the house spotless. Like he done literally cleaned way better than somebody who I paid to clean it. I'm telling you. He cleaned it, and I just was like, wow. And I was just smiling, and I couldn't stop grinning because I'm just like, yo, y'all knew I guess he felt like he needed to step up because he knew I was really frustrated about it. Or is the fact that he wanted some grapes. So he like, let me clean his house because she ain't bringing no more food up in here. The food we got to eat. So I go to the grocery store yesterday, right? Because I was so happy. I'm like, all right, I'm hitting all the stores. I did everything, right? And I was like, wait, back up again. So I said to my mom, I called my mom. I was like, Mom, do people feed their kids canned fruit because they misbehave so they can't have fresh fruit? Because fresh fruit costs a lot of money. Like fresh fruits and vegetables cost a lot of money. And I don't feel like spending that kind of money on my kids right now, right? I was like, so did you give us canned stuff because we were bad? Like, what was going on? They was like, no, that was all we getting them for. I'm like, oh, man. So I can't get them fruit cocktails in the can instead of getting them fresh grapes and all that stuff. No, Donna, you got to keep them healthy. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm like, oh, man, I ain't trying to spend this kind of money. So I go to the grocery store, spend a crazy amount of money. So then I come in this morning, I wake up. Now, mind you, yeah, I'm putting it out there. Because I'm frustrated. I'm trying to understand. And I had to call other people who got teenagers to help me understand this, right? So I had a box of 48 granola bars in the box. There's a box that had 48 granola bars, right? So I brought a couple boxes, but the one particular box, I came downstairs, whatever, and something told me to shake this box. Man, I shook this box. It was 8 granola bars left. I'm like, y'all ate 40 granola bars in 16 hours. I was like, and it wasn't like they ate the granola bars for dinner. They had dinner. Donna made chicken Alfredo. Lizzie decided she wanted pizza. Like, they had dinner. So not only did they eat the 40 granola bars, then I looked, then I tore up all the grapes. Now I paid $18 for them grapes. So y'all was supposed to let them, y'all need 18 days for them $18 worth of grapes. Okay. And I was just like, is it me? So at one point I was upset because they didn't clean, right? And then the next moment, I'm telling you, it's emotional, parents, it's emotional. The next morning I was celebrating, I was so happy. Oh, he cleaned the house spotless, yo, this is what's up. I could pay him to do this every month. And then the next morning, I'm like, now what in the world happened now? Now y'all done ate all this stuff, y'all eating food in the middle of the night. That's ridiculous.
But the beauty is they're gonna grow.
The beauty is they're
gonna grow. They're gonna be strong.
Well, they ain't gonna have nothing wrong with their bowels, and then they ain't 40 granola bars. So that's the beauty of that. I ain't gonna have to have no. I'm like, y'all done added more money for my toilet paper. Y'all done add more. My water bill's going up. Y'all gonna be on this toilet.
Yeah.
Now, how you see the beauty in that?
They're still growing.
They're still growing. But then stuff like that be getting under my skin. I'm like, I know, yes. Like I am not the only parent to deal with this. Like, how do you eat 40 granola bars in less than 16 hours?
That's my football son.
Your son? What?
He'll eat all the cheese. He'll eat all the fruit. Yes.
I'm really really thinking like maybe y'all don't need this fresh stuff. Y'all need to get this canned stuff, box stuff. Like we get real food up in this house, and y'all be listen. I'm like, I'm gonna need a job just to get y'all fresh food.
Yes.
But then you can't deny them. So the beauty in that is that they eat good. Yes. They eat fresh stuff. They're not eating like a lot of junk.
Right.
But I'm still trying to teach them moderation though. Like for real.
Yeah.
Like, you can't like you eat all this right now. But you know what I'm doing? Them other 2 boxes I brought, I'm hiding them under the bed. I'm hiding them under the bed. You better get this to the middle of the month.
Yeah.
You better eat air for snacks.
Yes.
But it's just like parenting, it just goes in and out. It's like emotional. It's like everything is like 1 minute, okay, well, everything's straight. Then the next minute something else off. And then you just got to find the joy and beauty in that. Like you can't be too frustrated and too hard where it's like nothing is going right. I don't know if I'm good with this.
Where would we be without them?
Yeah.
I think about
I'll be on a cruise. You said, where'd I be without my kids? I'll be on a cruise somewhere. What?
When you come snatch Kylie up, I'll be bored. When Kylie is going, I sit there like,
yeah, that is
what
true,
is to do? That's my life now. So it's nothing else to do.
Girl,
I don't even to go out and all that. That's not even exciting. Like I'll literally sleep if my kids are not there because I miss them.
Girl, that's now. That's
I
now.
miss them.
You know what? When the kids were younger, I did miss when they leave because I'm like, you know, we're so wrapped up in parenting, right? That when we don't have that to do, it's like, what else do we do? But that's the thing about parenting is that we also got to make time for ourselves so that we're able to do things when they're not there. I used to get really sad when my kids were going. Like, I was like, what am I supposed to do? All I do is parent, you know? I'm like, if I'm not working, I'm taking care of the kids. So I don't have to take care of nobody. What I'm supposed to do? But, girl, I'm loving it now. When they ain't there, I know what I'm supposed to do. Either get some sleep because I'm tired.
Yes.
Do some as my mom calls Saturday cleaning, where you bleach the whole house from the top to the bottom. At least I know within 24 to 48 hours, my house is going to be bleached up. Now, when they come home, they going to mess it up. It's over. But at least I know I got that sanity of 48 hours, right? But I think it's like we have to definitely cater to ourselves so that when they're not around because I mean they need to go places like they need to be, you know, and we don't need to be sad or depressed or anything because they're not there or don't need to know what to do. We need to figure this out. Girl, you better enjoy when they're not there. I'm telling you.
I mean, I get my rest and like you said, my cleaning, but as far as like, oh, I can do this every day, all day, not have no kids.
Nah, I don't know what
my
Now don't get me.
Saved my life.
Oh, well, go ahead, talk about that. Your baby saved your life. Talk about that.
Right. Just like as far as going out and being out here, like.
So you was a woman of the streets.
Not in the streets, but you know I like to dance.
You was out there partying.
Yes.
And your kids literally
brought me out of that. So I like, cause you know my mom and dad ain't. They're not the ones that here watch the baby. I'm out. Yeah. So no, like I was always with my babies. So all that going out and partying and yeah, it was cut.
You had to hang that up, huh?
Hang it up. But now, like even when I do get the opportunity to do it, it's just like I'm not missing nothing.
You already did it, so you like
I'm good. So.
Because there's so much stuff that goes on out there too, and then like you said, like you think about even as a mom, it's like not allowing yourself to be in certain situations because you still need to come back home to your babies. Right. You still need to be whole and complete for your baby, so you don't need to be in situations where it's going to cause an abruption or disruption in that. So
or even like when things are going on in our lives, like when we get in those depressed moments or something like that, I say that they saved my life because. What if I just slipped away and was like someone else and took my life or, you know what I mean? Or ran away from them. But I know that my babies need me. So they are the ones that keep me sane and anchored and living day to day. And I know that, you know, I live for them. So that's how they save my life.
That's good. I think and that's interesting you said because how old are you?
32.
Oh, yeah, you 32. So, because there's a lot of 32-year-olds, 32-year-olds who think that they can go out and party and all that and then still try to be like the best mom that you could be. But it's not that you can't party. I think it's all in moderation, but in how you party.
Right.
So for the fact that you're 32 and you're like, listen, I rather my babies, because all that out there ain't even working.
Or not even just a party scene, just literally with life. A lot of people my age are popping these pills heavy, addicted to drugs.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people that I grew up with
Have like substance abuse problems.
Yeah. And the fact that, you know, I lived through that, got through that, you know what I mean? And didn't allow myself to come subject to that. And like I said, now my kids definitely saved my life because I'm not tapping into that. But to look around and where I'm from, you know what I mean? Wilmington is like Chester. So a lot of my friends that I grew up with definitely are out here on substance abuse and things, and it's sad to see. And we done had a lot of deaths in the city of Wilmington with different people ODing and things like that at my age or younger.
Right.
So, you know, it's sad, but like I said, my kids saved my life, and I'm glad that God has protected me, that I haven't become subject to things like that, and that I live for my children. Because
I think that is so cool, because I think the beauty about that is that realizing that I'm a mom and that my kids need me.
Yeah.
So whatever needs or wants that I have, I can't be selfish about it because I have babies to raise.
Yeah.
I know many years ago where I didn't want to live anymore, right? And I really was, it was so much stuff going on in my life, like, you know, unhealed childhood trauma, just life be lifing out there. And I was at like one of the heaviest points of my life, and I really didn't want to live anymore. But the only thing that really kept me living was my kids. Like, so they literally was able to love me out of the depression, love me out of, because I'm like, listen, if I'm not here, who gonna take care of these babies? And we already seen the way the world was going, so that really said, okay, Donna, your kids need you whole.
Yeah.
Your kids need you complete. You cannot give them 25% of you. You need to be able to give your kids your all. So in order to do that, you gotta get yourself together. So that's literally, so I can say that my kids saved my life on several occasions. Because that's, and also when I had the 3 strokes back in 2020, I was fighting for them. Because the girls parents have already been deceased for a number of years. At that time it was 5 and 7 years. So I'm saying to myself, okay, God, I can't die, because what's going to happen with these girls? Another one of their parents died. You know, so I was like fighting myself through the healing process and recovery process of these strokes for my kids. Like, I was like, I gotta live because they need a mama. So that's why I was getting up every day. I was fighting it. I was, you know, had some sad moments because I lost, you know, everything pretty much on my left side, but that's what kept me going. And I don't think if I didn't have the kids, like, if I would have just kept fighting the way I was fighting. So I think definitely kids really help us out of some things. So that we realize, like, life is important.
Or
and
even in those stressful moments when they just come kiss your face, you know,
man,
give you those hugs.
You can't be mad that long. Like, you know, like my 15-year-old, you know, she tests my inner gangster. Everybody know who y'all
My 4-year-old does too.
Y'all know who I'm talking about. So she tests my gangster. Then she be like, all of a sudden, come here, come give me a hug. I'm like, I don't want to hug you. Like, but then you can't help it because, you know, they just know love. They're only giving back what you gave to them. Like, our kids who are loving and stuff, it's because that's what they receive. So even like you said, in the moment when you like probably fired up, eyebrows going up, you know, nose flaring, and they want to come be all sweet and kind.
Mommy, are you mad at me?
Yeah, like, yeah, you know I'm mad at
Mommy. Are you really?
Yeah, so I think that's awesome. I think that just being grateful. Like, I don't know. Do you believe kids are a blessing and a gift?
Yes, definitely.
I feel like they're a gift that we just, you know, it's a small package but a big gift. Like, they come in small packages, but the gifts are so big, and we get to unwrap these packages like every day. It's almost like Christmas is every day because they show us something beautiful, something unique.
It's like when, you know, those gifts that starts with, it's a big box, then it gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
Oh, right.
But theirs it's a small box, and it just keeps growing. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And as every day goes by and as they grow, every year goes by, they get bigger, they get smarter, they grow and with, intelligent, they learn new things. It's amazing.
And you be like, "Ooh, I had something to do with that." Okay, that's my baby. Okay. Even in, like you said, when we talk about the difficult times, parenting is parenting. And I don't know about you, but do you sometimes feel like you're doing like the greatest job or the worst job? Like, how do you like?
Yes. It depends on what's going on, but yes, my son sometimes makes me feel like, dang, where am I going wrong? No, that one, her mouth. I be like, Kylie Lynette, calm down. Where am I going wrong with you? But she's so intelligent. She's just exploring with different things that she knows. So just teaching her, can't say that
Right.
at this moment. I know you might feel like it's the truth, but
and that's kind of hard too, because we teach them not to lie, not to do all this stuff, and then these kids that are coming out now, these COVID babies and stuff, they be the real of the realest. Like, so teaching them how to curb some of that a little bit. Like, you don't want to take away and crush their spirit, but you also want to train them up where they're learning how to have great character, respect, and things like that. So, I'm constantly like the one to test my nigga. I'm like, listen, I get it, but don't use that on me. Like, I understand, but don't do that to me.
Okay.
But the crazy thing is that they say she act like me the most, and I'm like, really?
I see that.
I don't know. That's why we be bumping heads, though. But I think the package is a good analogy of because every day they grow, and you get to say, okay, God has blessed me with this child. I am responsible for this child, for their upbringing, so that they can be a productive citizen in society. Like, that they won't harm society.
Right.
They won't add any negativity. Everything will be more on the positive side, even though there will be negative situations. But because the way we're training them and teaching them, giving them great coping mechanisms, that hopefully that they'll be able to problem solve and be able to have a great communication skills.
And I talk to Kyler about that all the time. Just in general, like when he does something or say something, I'm like, was that nice? Was you supposed to do it that way? You know what I mean? That's not okay to treat people that way. And he's like, well, Mom, no. You got to go about it the right way, because you wouldn't like if someone did that to you. And in this world, you don't say those things, you don't treat people those ways, or you don't do that, because other things can happen.
Like, listen, you treat somebody like that, they might not get it off.
Yes.
That's funny you say that, because I was driving today, and this car just cut me off, and I felt like you just literally put my life in jeopardy, those who are in your car in jeopardy, like, just... And then I was like, well, the way the world is, I ain't even going to say nothing to you. I ain't going to blow my horn. You know what? You get a pass today, sir. Sir, ma'am, you get a pass today. Because I'm thinking about, I got to go home to my family, because you never know what's going on with people's minds and stuff like that. So, I think definitely teaching our children how to communicate properly and when to back up and when to continue to, not being so passive, but being assertive, but not aggressive.
Right.
And there's like a line between that, because you want to teach them in, situations where, one, you don't need to be punked or bullied, but at the same time, you still want to be respectful and making sure that you're able to just have good character.
Like last week, Kyler was on a bus, and they're all play fighting on the bus. Him and some boys and girls, everybody's playing, and the girl hit him in the eye, and his eye turned beet red, because by the time he got to me, his eye was still red.
Oh man.
And they continued to play, but he said I had to sit down, get my eye together, and then I started to play again. And that I told him, you should have separated yourself, because when he started to play again, now I believe his intentions was, all right, I gotta get her back. He got her back.
Oh, he got a lick back. Okay.
But then she decided to call her dad and her brother to the bus stop.
Oh, wow.
So my son said, Mom, I got up, I looked around the bus, I looked on the streets, I didn't see my uncle. So I got in the front. As soon as the bus driver stopped and opened the door, I took off running. I said, mind you, his bus stop is over on the north side. The church is over the east side. My son ran from his bus stop to the church. I said, son, how did you get here? Mom, I'm telling you, I ran. Yo. He ran for his life because he thought that the dad and the brother was going to beat him up. And I'm like, son, number one, you can't run that far. Like, I'm glad you made it. I'm glad to know at 7 years old you can do that.
Right.
But next time, just separate yourself. Like, if she hit you, just move away, because that could have went left. And I would have been upset if they put their hands on you. Right.
I mean, he's a boy, she's a girl. But they were playing.
And she's in 5th grade.
And Kyler is in what grade?
Second.
But Kyler is a big boy. So, you know, people might get a little intimidated by him.
Yes, but
what I be trying to tell the kids, don't play fight. Like, don't do it, because what happens is somebody get mad.
Right.
Then it's a whole nother thing. It's not even a play fight. It's a real fight. And like you said, she done call her peoples down here.
Yes. I said next time just separate. That's what I said.
He ran because, like, you know, he got off that bus.
He said, I got off and I ran.
Because you see, like, sometimes the parents' mind is to protect their child. Mm-hmm. And even if it takes you hurting another child, like, you don't know the mindset of people.
Right.
And I've seen it where, you know, parent beat a kid up or whatever because they hit their child. So that's why it's so important to tell kids to keep their hands to themselves.
That's why I told them, no more play fighting. And next time,
especially now with Kyler. Kyler get a little mad though. You play fight, then next you know, this ain't no play fight. So
yes.
Wow, he ran all the way on the other side of town. That's crazy. But he was smart. That was smart. I think I would have had, if I was him, I would have asked the bus driver to call my family and say, listen, can you come get me for the bus stop?
I was like, oh my goodness.
Wow. But that's good thinking. He thought fast. He was quick on his feet.
I got to get off this bus.
He's like, I got to get off this bus. You done call all the people on me. But at least he didn't have the mindset that I don't care. I'm going to fight him anyway. I'm going to do what I need to do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because some kids will do that. Right. Like, listen, you don't. Mm-hmm. So I think that's good. But even in that, like, you could think about, like, the beauty in that, the fact that he knew that danger was on the rise, and that he needed to get out the situation.
Yes.
Now, hopefully, he learned the lesson of don't be playing fighting because somebody gonna call their family on you. You know.
That's what I said. I hope you see the lesson.
Yeah, see the lesson there, because that's something. But even in situations like that, like you could get mad, like, oh my God, you ran from all the way on one side of town to the other. You know, anything can happen. We're in the city, but at the same time,
I found the beauty in it because he could have went. The way he went was the long way, but if he would have went the shorter way, he had to cross a way bigger bridge where a lot of cars are coming and all of that. And I was thankful that he didn't, because I'm just like, that would have been scary. And I'm just thankful that you made it safe. Right. But yeah.
Do you ever tell your kids that you're grateful or thankful for them?
I don't think I ever.
Do you ever tell your kids you need to be? Do you ever tell your kids they need to be thankful for you and grateful for you?
Not necessarily. Well, yeah, for me, but I break it down. Like, Khalil, you could be with another family that doesn't appreciate, you know, and they just treat you wrong or they don't feed you. Because, you know, my son, like you said, he a big boy. So these meals that you want me to cook, the mac and cheese and all of that, you might not would have had that if you was with those other people. So you should be thankful that you have a good mom. But I don't think I've ever told Khalil, if you're listening, I'm thankful for you, son. Kylie, I'm thankful for you.
I think that we don't. I think because we're so busy parenting and we're thinking like we're the best thing since sliced bread, or no point intended. But I think our kids need to hear that we're thankful and grateful for them, you know, and not just because they've done something like when Josh cleaned the whole house. Boy, listen, what you want from the market? Okay, yes, I'll pay $18 for the grapes today because I'm so happy. But just on a regular basis, just on a, I thank God for you. Like, you're such a blessing. I love the way you talk. I love the way you act. Like, you're such a gift that just keep, like the same thing we're saying, that they're gifted, we keep unwrapping. I think that if they hear that more from parents, they will realize that, like, somebody not just providing for me, like, they're thinking about holistically the well-being of kids, like, mentally. And I think that we drop the ball sometimes because, and life be lifing. Parents be parenting. Life be lifing. And I think sometimes when our kids do so many things, we be forgetting to tell them, yo, I'm thankful, because there's so many times that I'll be like, God, please help me, because this one right here,
It's
you
about
know,
to drive.
we get kind of like what they call like the white noise chatter or the cloudy judgment because of situations. You trying to come on the show? Come on. We gonna have a special guest here. We're gonna have the 4-year-old. She's been sitting in the background trying to come on the show. But I think it's so important to tell our kids that we thank God for them, that they truly are a gift. Because we always tell them how we a gift to them. Say hi.
Hi.
Say hi. Kylie, how old are you? Come on, get in the mic. How old are you?
4.
4. What are you thankful for?
Dad.
You thankful for God? What else?
My mom.
Okay. You thankful for God and your mom. All right. Kylie, do you think your mom's thankful for you? You think she thank God for you? Why? Because. Okay. But I think it's so important to really get our kids to understand how grateful we are for them.
Yes.
Because if anything in the world, like the world will chew you up and spit you up out there, right? Mm-hmm. There are so many things that the world tries to put on our children, and I'm a strong believer that do not send our kids out there naked. We clothe them with love. Yes. We clothe them with peace. We clothe them with security. And we clothe them with the fact that they know that we're thanking God for them every day. Mm-hmm. Despite of what they do, yes. Despite of the challenges, at the end of the day, I'm still grateful for you.
Yes.
And I think we really need to do that more. I need to do that more. I tell my kids that I'm grateful for them, but I tell them a lot of times, I do tell them that y'all need to thank God for me. Ooh, y'all need to thank God for me, because I'm telling you.
I tell Khalir, like, if he does something, or thank you, Khalir, that was really nice, or thanks for doing that for me. Mm-hmm. But to actually say I'm thankful for you, I'm grateful for you, you know, I thank God for you. I don't think I have.
Yeah, we got to because, you know, and not it being attached to nothing. Right. Like, I'm not grateful for you because you did A, B, and C. I'm not thankful for you because you did A, B, and C. Because what we do when we tell our kids about them being grateful and thankful for us is because of our actions. Mm-hmm. Oh, you need to be grateful because I did this. Or you need to be thankful because I do that. No, we want to start them off and saying, listen, I'm just grateful that you're alive. Right. I'm grateful that God has blessed me with you. I'm grateful that you're a gift that keep on unwrapping. Yes. Keep on unwrapping. And there's just beauty into that. And I think that when we begin to see the beauty in parenting, our children will begin to see the beauty too. Because if we're always mad, if we're always mad, so, oh man, parenting is hard, I ain't got to do this. Now, don't get me wrong, parenting is a hard life. Yes. However, it's such a beautiful life and noble life. Mm-hmm. And that not everybody have the privilege of being a parent. Right. You know? Yes. So I think if they see that we're not upset that we're parents, or, you know I tend to do stuff like, I'll be mad like, yo, you got all these lights on. Do you know how much I got to pay for these lights and stuff? So you should thank God that I got you these lights. Yes. Like, you know, we get into so much of what we do, and it's the things that, you know, we do it out of love. But we can't attach the fact that we need to teach them that they need to be grateful because God has blessed them with us, as well as God has blessed us with them. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really important. I'm gonna start doing that a little bit more.
I'm gonna do that starting tonight.
Yeah. Like any parents out there, like really just start thinking about how grateful you are for your kids. Like think about how God has really blessed you with the kids, because you know, our kids could be doing anything, anywhere, you know, but the fact that we have them in our possession and we get to impart in them, we get to train them up, we get to raise them to be successful heroes. Like, and I think that out of all the jobs that I've had, you know, being a nurse and other things that I do, I think the best job I really have is being a mom. I really like, when I look at it, you know, I made some good money at them other jobs, and I helped a lot of people. But being a mom is really, I feel like, my greatest accomplishment. Because I get to see how they were and where they are now, and how God is just make them unique, and I just get to see the beauty in that, even in the frustration.
And that's why
Mommy.
relax.
What you need?
And that's why I love teaching.
Come on.
I know we don't make that much money,
Uh-huh.
but that's why I haven't left it, because to be able to pour into a child and then see the outcome of it, even if it's years later, like at college football game last weekend, 2 weekends ago, I seen one of my old students' aunts, and I was like, "How is he?" And she was like, "He's doing amazing." And when he was with me, he had a lot of different things going on, but he would only calm down for me. He will only do his work for me. He will only perform in academically for me. Right. He will only show that he knew this, that, and the third for me. And I'm like, DeAndre, you're about to go to kindergarten, and you got to show them that you know these things. And eventually, before leaving me, he started to open up a little bit. He started to change his different behaviors. And then now listening and hearing he's doing really well, that warms my heart. So that's one of the things I love about teaching, because it's beautiful. Seeing the kids grow.
Right. And I think it's one of the things, the other beauty about parenting is that you get to see how this gift just unfolds. Where they are at one point, they're going to be something different later. And you can't give up on them. You can't throw in the towel with them, even though sometimes you be ready to. Sometimes you be so frustrated because, we all have emotions, we all have feelings, and we have perceptions and things that a certain way we want things. And our children have the same thing. They have the emotions, they have the brains, they have the intellect and stuff like that. So when things don't go the way that we think they should go, we kind of get frustrated and we get upset. But understanding that it's a process, though. Kids, our job is to train them up, right? So what you do with training, you keep going at it, you keep going at it, you keep going at it until eventually they're able to get it. So I think sometimes we give up so soon. Talking about, I told you 5 times and you still ain't got it. Well, when you're training, you got to keep going it, keep doing it until they get it.
Yeah.
And then again, they may not get it the first couple times. It may be years later, but then you start to see it. Because I'm telling you, the way I see my kids now is I remember when they was little, it was giving me the rough time. And then now I just see how they have matured. Right. And how they've grown so much to be able to literally make decisions for themselves. Even though I still be trying to micromanage stuff, but now they're like, Mom, I got this. I can figure this out. My 17-year-old has a job. And this is not her first job, but this job, I said, listen, what's the schedule? What's going on? She said, Mom, I got it. I'm like, well, wait a minute. I know that you got it, but I want to know what are your hours? Who taking you? Who pick you up? I started immediately going to mom mode, and she was like, I am 17. I'm about to be out on my own. I have to learn these things to be able to be independent of you. I said, well, not yet. I'm like, wait a minute. What's your work hours? You got school the next day. But I think because we're so used to micromanaging their lives, is that when they grow up, but that's the job. We're supposed to train them so well that they're comfortable to leave. They're comfortable to be independent. We don't want no latchy kids. We don't want kids that be with me until they're 40, 50 years old. We want them to grow independence and be able to grow. But sometimes if you're a control person, if you like control and you like to micromanage stuff, it becomes a conflict.
Yes.
And then as a parent, you gotta be like, well, the beauty in this is that she wants to be independent. So I gotta figure out how to give her independence, but yet still parent her.
Yes.
And that's the hard part now. Because I'm still so what's the work schedule? What we doing? And how late they going to have you out? You my kid. You can't be out this late. As a mom, you start thinking about all this stuff. Yes. But she's like, Mom, I'm going to be 18 in April. I'm about to be shipped to the Marines in July. I got to figure life out.
Yes.
This is what she said to me. She said, trust everything that you put in me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Donna, do you trust what you put in me? Like, Donna, do you trust what you, wait, did you put the right stuff in her? Did you, because that's when you start questioning. It's like, okay, did I put the right stuff in her so that she can be successful?
Yes. When if he's going somewhere, Kyler, make sure you listen, make sure you do this, make sure, like, Mom, okay, I know. I was like, are you sure? And then he'll come back and they're like, he's fine, he did great.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
It be us though. It be us. You know, Pam said something before. I remember when she was saying, Pam was on the show, and then she also talked about in the leadership when she was talking about her daughter, Victoria is, I believe, 4 too, right? Victoria is 4, and she wanted to put help her mom put the water bottles in the refrigerator, and Pam normally gives her about 2 to 3 water bottles, but Victoria's like, listen, I can handle more. I seen how you carry it. I can handle more. And she's like, no, you only do this. So then the father said, well, wait, you stopping her. So she learned how to carry the 4, and then she wanted another one. And Pam was like, hold up. But we have to allow our children to be stretched. We can't keep them just bottled up just because we think that they need to do A, B, and C. But they're humans too, and they have a mind, and we want to be able to explore their mind and build some confidence. She was like, I mean, said, what's the worst thing happening if she dropped the water? Right. She tried though, right? And sometimes we get so caught up to the perfection of parenting that we forget that they're flexible, they're pliable. We got to be able to pivot with parenting. We got to be able to allow them to be stretched, because parenting really stretch us.
Yes.
It stretches us. God knows I'll be stretched.
Yeah.
I ain't say stress, y'all. I said stretch.
Stretched and stressed.
Stretch and stretch, yeah. But it's all out of love, though.
Yes.
And it's all out of just making sure that they have the right things and that we equip them right, because we know this world is a hard world. And our job is to make sure that they're able to live the best life that they can for as long as they can.
That's what I was about to say. We just want the best for them and that they succeed further than we have. Like, that's what my goal for my kids, that they succeed above and beyond what I am. Like,
right. So. And even if the best is me pulling back, you know, a bow and arrow, right? So as a bow, we're the parents are the bow and the children are the arrow. So we have to pull our kids back sometimes to allow them to leap forward, right? So even if we have to pull ourselves back a little bit so that they can have the best. Because again, if you're one of those controlling parents, those micromanaged parents, or you just want the best for your kids and you don't want nothing to happen, but we got to understand that we're parenting with a purpose. We're not parenting in perfection.
Yes.
Right? So what's the purpose in your parenting? Like, your purpose, what is the end goal? You want your kids to grow up to be successful, whatever successful means to them, and have that conversation. What is success to you? What is success in our family looks like? Not that you have to be like people in our family, but how do we view success so that they can have a hope in the future? So I think that's really important. And through all that, you gotta smile and wave.
Yes.
You ever smile through your teeth when your kids do something? Oh man.
Right now.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, you gotta smile through your teeth so you like show them that you're smiling, but inside you fired out like, I do that sometimes too, but a lot of times, you know, a couple things I just say to them is smarten up. That means that every brain cell you got in your head better start sparking, because something ain't right.
Yes.
Or my kids be laughing because I'll be like, Jesus, take the wheel. Or like, I have all these crazy sayings around in the house just so that I can keep myself cool without going off, because sometimes, you know, when kids decide that they're getting older and they have minds and opinions and stuff and they want to kind of challenge you a little bit, and then you get offended because they're challenging you, and sometimes it could be like a back and forth thing, but learning how to listen, seek first to understand, but you're gonna respect me.
Yes.
So, and that's the beauty in the parenting. So I just think that we have to appreciate our kids. We have to be thankful for our kids.
Yes.
And that we have to not just be thankful for situations or circumstances. We just need to be thankful and grateful that they are here and that God has blessed us with them.
Yes.
You know, because it could have went a whole different way. there's so many kids that are losing their life at such an early age through car accidents, through violence, through so many things. And I think that if one thing we need to let our kids know is that they are appreciated.
Yep.
And that we are glad that they're in our life, that they're not a burden. Even though things get heavy and the weight of parenting is heavy, but they're not a burden, because I think sometimes if our kids think that they become a burden to us, they won't share certain things, or they'll try to like retreat, or think that when they grow up they can't be able to communicate properly because they think that they may be a burden to someone else, or view other people as burdens.
Right.
So I think in parenting we really gotta learn how to appreciate them.
Yeah.
And I think parents appreciate their kids, but we just be so caught up with everything else.
Everything else, we don't tell them and show them.
Yeah. So I think that we really gotta tell them and show them, not attached to something.
Right.
Just generally, I appreciate you. I love you. I'm glad that you're here. And then if you want to say something 20 minutes later, it's like, nah. Now, why'd you do this or why'd you do that? All right. So anything you want to say to parents out there before we close out about the beauty in parenting and, you know, all
Keep
that?
going. No matter what, keep going. Keep loving them. Stay strong. And when it gets hard, keep going. And trust God no matter what, because He's the one that's going to help us through on those rough days.
I think that's so important. Have faith and trust God.
Yeah.
And I think, Kylie, what you just said, can you put your tongue in your mouth? What did you just say? You said, and eat vegetables. That's what you want to tell the people?
Hold on, wait. Do you eat all your vegetables?
She said, and eat vegetables. So parents, she wants you out there to be strong enough for your kids, so you need to eat your vegetables. So I would say to the same thing, just to piggyback on what Amanda said, like, keep the faith. Trust God. You know, I feel like I always think back when Moses and the children of Israel, when they were out there, and the children, I ain't gonna call them kids because they were adults, but the children of Israel was cutting up so bad, Moses went to God and said, God, these your kids, what you want me to do with them? Like, lead me, help me, because they're out here, they doing A, B, and C. And I think that's how we gotta really approach God for our kids. It's like, okay, you've given me these kids, help me train them, help me how to make sure that they're successful, because at the end of the day, we're just borrowing them.
Yes.
We just got them temporary. Like, you really have them. So trusting God with our kids, and trusting God that He has imparted to us what we need to give to our kids, and just really understanding that they're a gift.
Yes.
So parents out there, I know that's frustrated. I know parenting is a hard knock life, but just think about the beauty into it. Think about the, you know, how special our children are and how they're really a gift from God. All right? So thank you for joining Parenting with a Purpose. I am your host, Donna Janel. Thank you, Amanda and Kylie, for joining the show today. Tune in every Thursday at 7 p.m. Again, parents are the bows and our children are arrows, and they will land wherever we send them. Hi everybody, my name is Donna, also known as Donna Janel, CEO and founder of Parenting with a Purpose. Our strive here at the podcast is to reach every home, whether it's single moms, married, single dads, whatever it is, foster parents, whatever, just bringing the ownership and responsibility and nobility back into parenting. Get comfortable with uncomfortable conversations. All parents need some help and guidance, and I'm just here to be a guide.